Often it has been seen that when anybody is trying to work with lines, especially when they are trying to give a little brick kind of and a rough look of the door or the window or the wall behind, and they are working with pen but not with pencils or with graphites or not with paint. So the line with the pen, in order to try to make it a rough look or give a rough look, we have often noticed that the lines tend to go outside the actual border of the wall or of the door or of the window. Now, taking the lines outside the door of the window's main structural line is not giving a vintage or a rough look. So how we can get this look with the help of especially when we are working with pen. So I have just drawn a very rough structure. I'm not sure whether that's visible or not. So I will try and show that how we can get inside this structure. The lines should not be going outside it, and if it goes outside, so then how we can make sure that it gets covered towards the end, right? So let's see how we can try and get the rough look of the bricks and not very detailed, but it gives the effect of the brick or wooden texture. Let's first make a very thin outline. I'm using a regular pen. I'm not using any technical pen or anything as such. Now this is one way. The other way I'm going to show it on this side. Okay? So you don't have to make lines like this. No. This gives a very refined and a defined look. So let's not do that. Let's hold the pen a little behind. And if it's a brick kind of a look, make random bricks over here. And the other way will be, I'm just putting a line here as number 1. And let's say if you're putting lines, proper ones. Why don't we just add a little effect and textures in this way? Let's try the third way, in which let's make proper lines. As you can see that here a few lines have gone out, here a few lines have gone out, here a few lines have gone out. How are we going to cover that? Once you're done with the entire work, and let's say here also you have the window thing, the window pane actually. Once your entire work is done, then you start darkening this line. Not only becomes the way you want, like you can straighten it, you can use a ruler, and of course all the lines that's coming out gets covered over here. Even that's gone inside from here, and all those gets covered and hidden. Now let's see another way, which I generally use or I generally prefer working on with. I take the lines from both the sides to give a rough wall effect, and I keep on bringing the vertical line down in this way, because this kind of tells me that I'm not supposed to go beyond this part. First method. The second one that I generally prefer is make the lines of your bricks, if it's a brick wall or if it's a normal wall, okay, and then so while I was making these lines, I was holding the pen here. Now I move a little behind so that I have more easy flow of the ink and I can move the nib comfortably. Depending on from where the light is falling or the darkness is, based on the value and the shadows, I'm going to create this. If the light is falling from here, then obviously it's gonna be. Now if the light is falling from this side, from this side, then this side becomes the dark, so it goes in that way. See, the light and dark will totally depend on from where it's, from where the light is falling. So that's why I'm just doing it in alternate way, so that you get an idea. When the light falls from here, you have dark effect here, and when the light falls from here, you have the dark effect on the opposite side. Obviously in one wall you will not have both, but here I'm just showing it, okay. And if the light is from the top, it's a wooden texture, if it's a wooden thing, then create that wooden planks in whichever way it's placed. If they are placed in this way, single line of each wooden plank, slightly thick, fat or broad, whatever word you want to use. They are placed horizontally, do the same thing. If you notice, I'm just not going detailed at all. I'm just trying to get the rough effect, because the detail will be, obviously my hold of pen will be in a different way. I will be focusing on each and every line and each and every angle in which the light and everything is falling. And then of course I will be making the lines with the wooden plank and the corners and everything. That's it. When it comes to these part, okay, here often we see it's in this direction, in this direction, and in this direction. So you have to make sure that you start from here and you start, maintaining, and then become straight over here, maintain the strokes, and then you again go slanting, and as you come to the end you become straight again. Your pen should become straight again, the line. So this has to be, now the same method which has been done in these two should be applied over here. Now once everything is done, not in between, once everything is done, make sure that you outline after that. Now this is when all the lines which has gone out or a little bit here and there, everything gets covered and it becomes neat and no line is outside and it's not looking messy. Even though it is supposed to have a rough or a vintage look, it should not look as if you've just done however you wanted. Now let's say in this there's a lot of gaps, and also what you do, you just make a little more shades and effects. And these are called just giving a little bit of finishing touches, which adds correct look and texture to your work. I hope this was helpful and you're gonna try this. And there is one thing for sure, that you need to keep practicing, because the more you practice with this method and this medium, it will slowly come to that. Because see, with pen, what happens, the tip of the pen is not like pencil, that if it breaks you can sharpen it. The tip of the pen, if you press it too hard, you're gonna mess up your drawing. If you just leave it and you don't touch the tip of the pen properly on the paper, then there will be no ink flow on the paper. So these are small few tips that you need to remember, and if you keep practicing, I'm sure you will definitely start doing much better and you will start seeing the difference in your work. So keep practicing.